Welcome back my YouTube channel Worth Old Coin Value. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most interesting and valuable in this coin 1987 South Africa 50 cents coin, which is not just a piece of currency, but a rare collectible worth a jaw-dropping $67,230. That's right, this seemingly ordinary coin has an incredible value, and today, we're diving deep into the details of why this coin is so valuable, its history, and how you can determine if yours might be worth a fortune too. Before we talk about why the 1987 South Africa 50 cents coin is so valuable today, let's take a step back in time. South Africa was undergoing significant political and social changes in the 1980s, which is important to understand the context of this coin's creation. In 1987, South Africa was still in the grips of apartheid, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination. The country was navigating through years of unrest, international sanctions, and internal protests. Despite the political turmoil, the South African Reserve Bank continued issuing coins, and in 1987, they minted a series of commemorative and standard circulation coins. The 1987 50 cents coin was part of this era. It's important to note that South Africa had previously used the British pound before transitioning to the rand, and by 1987, the rand was firmly established as the national currency. So when you hold this coin in your hand, you're touching a piece of South African history. Now let's talk about the design of this coin. On the obverse side, you'll notice a portrait of the then president of South Africa, P.W. Botha. Botha was the country's head of state from 1984 to 1989 and played a controversial role during the apartheid era. On the reverse side, you'll see the springbok antelope, a national symbol of South Africa. The springbok represents the country's wildlife and is a cherished symbol of pride for many South Africans. It's a stunning image, isn't it? The coin is made of cupronickel, a metal alloy of copper and nickel, and weighs around 15 grams with a diameter of 30 millimeters. Its circular design is familiar to collectors, but its value lies far beyond its mere physical features. Now, let's get to the juicy part. Why is the 1987 50 cents coin valued at $67,230? This is where the rarity factor comes into play. Although the 1987 50 cents coin was released for general circulation, only a limited number were minted. Coin collectors often refer to it as a key date coin because the mintage figures for this year are much lower compared to other years in the 1980s. What does this mean for collectors? The rarity of a coin plays a huge role in its value. In 1987, the South African Mint produced just a small number of 50 cents coins, and over time, many of these coins were lost or damaged, further driving up the rarity factor. Another key factor contributing to the coin's value is its condition. Coins in uncirculated or proof condition, with minimal wear and tear, are far more valuable. So, if you're holding on to one of these pristine specimens, your coin could be worth thousands of dollars. As of today, the 1987 South Africa 50 cents coin has been selling for as much as $67,230 at auctions, but don't get too excited just yet. This value depends on factors like condition, provenance, and demand. I spoke with a few coin experts, and here's what they say. While $67,230 is the highest recorded sale price, the average price for a well-preserved 1987 50 cents coin tends to be lower, usually in the range of a few $1,000s. Interestingly, the market for these coins is growing. As more collectors and investors seek rare and historical coins, the demand for high-quality 1987 50 cents pieces continues to rise. All right, so how can you tell if you have one of these valuable coins? Well, it all starts with the condition. Coins in mint state, which means no visible scratches or wear, are the most sought after. Look closely at the details on the coin. Are the features sharp and clear? Is the image of the springbok or President Botha still well-defined? If so, you're on the right track. Next, check for any signs of wear, and make sure the coin hasn't been altered or cleaned. Many collectors avoid coins that have been cleaned because it can reduce their value. Use a magnifying loupe or a high-resolution camera to examine the coin's surface. If it looks pristine and the features are clearly visible, you could have a valuable piece in your hands. So, What does all this mean for you as a collector? The 1987 South Africa 50 cents coin is coin 5 Rand South Africa, the famous 1994 South African coins. These coins have captured the imaginations of collectors and investors alike due to their unique design, historical significance, and, of course, their soaring value. Some of these coins are worth millions today. So, what makes these coins so special? Let's find out together. Let's break it down and uncover the fascinating story behind this remarkable piece of history to truly understand why a 1994 South African coin could be worth millions. We first need to look at the rich history of South African currency. South Africa, as a country with a turbulent political history, has seen many changes in its currency over the years. In 1994, South Africa was in a period of transition. The apartheid regime was coming to an end, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president in the nation's history. The significance of this change is not just political but also had a major impact on the country's currency. In fact, the year 1994 saw the introduction of a new set of coins. The 1994 South African coins were designed to represent this new era, one of unity, peace, and democracy. These coins would go on to become some of the most sought after in the world, especially by collectors. One of the standout coins from 1994 was the gold Krugerrand, a coin famous for its gold content and its design featuring a bust of Paul Kruger, the former president of the South African Republic. It was first minted in 1967 and became the most widely traded gold coin in the world. The 1994 Krugerrand holds particular significance because it marks a milestone in South Africa's history. This specific 1994 edition of the Krugerrand was minted in honor of South Africa's first democratic elections. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history. But did you know, one particular gold Krugerrand from that year has become one of the most valuable coins ever now? You may be wondering, what makes this specific 1994 South Africa Krugerrand worth $4 million? Well, this isn't just any regular Krugerrand. It's an extremely rare variation, a 1994 Krugerrand that was accidentally struck with a misprint, making it an error coin. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare coin collecting, error coins can skyrocket in value. This coin was mistakenly struck with an incorrect weight. It weighs significantly more than the standard Krugerrand. This error wasn't discovered until years later, and it became one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic community. Error coins like this one can be incredibly valuable. Why? Because they are essentially one of a kind. A slight mistake during minting can make a coin stand out from all the others, which is precisely what happened here. This coin was the result of a special set of circumstances, including a minting process that was disrupted during the coin's production. The most crucial detail? The weight discrepancy. This particular coin weighed several grams more than a regular Krugerrand, making it a unique piece. But not just any coin collector could have known its true value when it was first minted. It wasn't until decades later that a keen-eyed numismatist recognized the error and brought the coin to the public's attention. That's when the bidding wars began. After the coin was discovered and authenticated, it was put up for auction by one of the most renowned auction houses in the world. What happened next was absolutely incredible. The bidding war for this rare 1994 South African Krugerrand escalated to an unbelievable $4 million. But what's really interesting about this is how this coin is a perfect example of how value is determined in the world of numismatics. It's not always about the metal content or the rarity alone. The backstory, the error, the historical significance, all of these factors play into the value of a coin. And let me tell you, the fact that this coin represents the end of apartheid and the dawn of a new era for South Africa, that just adds to its allure. Now, you may be asking, how can I find a coin like this? Well, finding such a rare coin is no easy feat. It's about patience, knowledge, and sometimes a little bit of luck. Coin collectors spend years building their collections, and each piece holds its own unique story. Coins like this Krugerrand show us that value isn't just about monetary worth. It's also about the history they represent. A coin can be a reflection of its time, a window into the past, and a link to the events that shaped our world. For many collectors, rare coins are more than just collectibles. They are an investment. But how can you start collecting rare coins, and what should you look out for? When it comes to investing, Rarity, historical significance, and condition are key factors. In some cases, like this 1994 Krugerrand, errors or mistakes in minting can make a coin worth significantly more than its face value. This coin, 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin, a coin that has recently been linked to a mind-blowing value of $3 million. I know what you're thinking. How could a simple 20-cent coin from South Africa be worth such an astronomical amount? Well, grab your magnifying glass, because today we're going to uncover the mystery behind this incredibly rare and valuable. The 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin is part of South Africa's standard coin series, introduced in the mid-90s after the country's democratic transition. This coin features some beautiful, intricate designs, but it's the history behind it that really elevates its value. On the obverse side, you'll notice the portrait of the legendary Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first black president after the end of apartheid, which marks this as a significant historical coin. And on the reverse side, we have the iconic image of a small springbok, which is South Africa's national symbol. The springbok is famous for its agility, and it's been a symbol of the country's strength and resilience for decades. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1997 20-cent coins are still in circulation, there's a rare variety of this coin that's making waves in the collector community. This specific coin was struck in an extremely limited number, and it's that rarity that's led to the coin's high value. Why is this coin so valuable? Well, in 1997, South Africa's mint released a set of 20-cent coins as part of a new series. However, during the production process, a small batch of 20-cent coins was struck with a minor error, and this is what makes them so valuable today. Some of these coins were minted with a unique and rare feature. They were accidentally produced with a double die, meaning that the design was stamped twice on the same coin. This error created subtle differences in the appearance of the coin, making it stand out from other 20-cent pieces. The coins with this error are now regarded as mistakes, and in the world of numismatics, mistakes can be worth a lot of money. Now, here's where the story takes an even more interesting turn. In recent years, one of these error coins surfaced at an auction and completely shocked the numismatic community. Experts estimated the value of the coin at $3 million due to its rarity, the historical significance of the year 1997, and the error it contained. That's right, $3 million. And here's the kicker. This coin wasn't even in mint condition. It had been circulated, so it wasn't pristine. But because of its rarity and the fact that it had the double die error, it commanded such an extraordinary price. What makes a coin like this fetch such a high price at an auction? There are several factors, including rarity, demand, condition, and historical context. But in this case, it was mainly the rarity of the error that made it so desirable to collectors and investors alike. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare, valuable coins in my collection? Well, I've got you covered. Here's how you can spot a potential 1997 South Africa 20 cents error coin. First, you want to look for the double die error. To do this, inspect the design, especially the features of the springbok and the lettering. If you see a slight double outline or a doubled image, that's a sign of the error. Be sure to use a magnifying glass to catch even the smallest of details. Next, check the overall condition. While the coin doesn't have to be perfect, the better its condition, the more valuable it will be. Coins with minimal wear and tear typically command higher prices. What does this mean for the market? Is it just the 1997 20 cents coin that's valuable? Or are there other coins from the same era that are also fetching high prices? Well, the coin market has exploded in recent years, and rare coins like this one are driving that growth. Many collectors and investors are actively searching for error coins, particularly those that have historical significance. And South African coins, in particular, have become incredibly popular due to their connection to the country's rich history and the global interest in Mandela-era memorabilia. To wrap things up, the 1997 South Africa 20 cents coin is a prime example of how a small error can create a massive value in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, This coin is a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected pieces can hold the greatest value. This coin, 1985 South African 5-cent coin. This coin, a piece of history, is not only fascinating but also holds a jaw-dropping value of $2.5 million. Stick around to learn why this little coin can fetch such an incredible amount and what makes it one of the rarest and most sought after in the world of numismatics. Before we delve into the astounding value of this coin, let's take a moment to understand its historical significance. The 5-cent coin was part of South Africa's currency system during the late 20th century. Introduced in 1961 as part of a series of coins to replace the South African pound with the South African rand, the 5-cent coin was designed to be a small, everyday denomination that citizens used for daily transactions. In 1985, South Africa was going through significant political and social changes. The country was under the apartheid regime, and many international sanctions were being placed on South Africa due to its policies. This makes the 1985 coin particularly interesting, as it symbolizes a turbulent period in South African history. Let's now look at the design of the 1985 South African 5-cent coin. On the obverse, we find a portrait of the first president of the Republic of South Africa, Charles Robert Swart, with the words South Africa inscribed around the rim. But what makes the reverse side so interesting is the iconic design of a protea flower. The protea is South Africa's national flower, symbolizing beauty, strength, and resilience. The simplicity of this design hides a great deal of significance and artistry, contributing to the overall appeal of the coin. Now, we get to the million-dollar question. Why is this 1985 South African 5-cent coin worth $2.5 million? There are a few key reasons behind its astronomical value. First, we must consider the rarity of the coin. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a limited number of these coins. However, a rare minting error occurred during production. Some coins were struck with an incorrect design, resulting in a small batch of 5-cent coins with an error that made them highly unique. Coin collectors and numismatists eagerly seek out these error coins, and a flawless example in perfect condition can command incredibly high prices. Another factor contributing to the value is the historical context. As we mentioned, 1985 was a year of significant political unrest in South Africa. Coins from this era, especially those with unique features, are highly prized by collectors who want to own a piece of history. Lastly, the coin's value has soared due to a small number of these error coins being discovered in pristine condition. Finding a 1985 South African 5-cent coin in perfect or near-perfect condition is incredibly rare, and this pristine condition has driven up its value. Over the years, this coin has made its way through various coin auctions and private sales. In recent years, its price has skyrocketed as demand from collectors continues to grow. But how did this coin go from being a simple 5-cent piece to a multi-million-dollar collectible? The coin first gained attention in the mid-2000s when it was spotted in an auction catalog. With a bidding frenzy that caught the attention of numismatists around the world, the 1985 5-cent coin eventually sold for an astonishing price. It's been through several high-profile auctions where its value only continues to rise. For those of you thinking of adding one of these rare coins to your collection, it's important to know how to identify an authentic 1985 South African 5-cent coin. Many counterfeit versions exist, so you must know what to look for. First, examine the weight and dimensions of the coin. Authentic 5-cent coins from 1985 are made from a copper-nickel alloy, so they should have a specific weight and feel. Be sure to measure the coin's diameter and thickness as well. Second, pay close attention to the quality of the design. The engraving on genuine coins is sharp, and the details on the protea flower should be clear and well-defined. If you notice any irregularities in the design, you may be dealing with a fake. There you have it, the incredible story behind the 1985 South African 5-cent coin and why it's worth an astounding $2.5 million. From its unique historical context to its rare minting error and perfect condition, this coin truly represents the excitement and intrigue of coin collecting. Piece of currency. This coin, 1986. 1-cent South African coin, but why is this coin worth so much? Stick around as we break it all down and explain how this humble coin became a collector's dream. Let's start with some history. The South African 1-cent coin was part of the country's currency system, introduced in 1961 after South Africa became a republic. The coin's design was simple yet elegant, featuring the image of a protea flower, a national symbol of South Africa, on the reverse side. This flower is a symbol of resilience and beauty, and it's fitting that it graces this small but significant coin. Fast forward to 1986, and the 1-cent coin was still circulating, but something remarkable happened that year. The mintage of the 1986 1-cent coin was extremely limited. Only a few were ever made, and even fewer survived in pristine condition. So, what makes the 1986 version so special? Well, there was a significant error in production that year, but we'll get into that shortly. In 1986, South Africa's mints produced a batch of 1-cent coins, but something went wrong. This error was caused by an issue during the minting process, and it led to an extremely rare variety of this coin. Here's the thing. Most of the 1986 1-cent coins are pretty standard, and they aren't worth much. But some feature a die error that makes them highly sought after by collectors. These rare coins were never officially released into circulation, but a few managed to slip through the cracks. These error coins have a unique design flaw that makes them stand out. It could be a misstruck coin, where the reverse image is slightly off-center, or perhaps there's an unusual feature in the design itself. It's the rarity and the uniqueness of these features that elevate the coin's value. Now, let's talk about why this coin is worth so much. The 1986 South African 1-cent coin has a very low mintage, and even fewer are in mint condition. The error variety, which is what collectors are hunting for, is incredibly rare. These rare coins have been sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, with one coin recently fetching a jaw-dropping $55. 500. Why is this coin so valuable? Well, rarity plays a huge role. When you combine the fact that only a handful of these coins exist with the demand from collectors, you get a perfect storm of value. But that's not all. The 1986 1-cent coin is a part of South African numismatic history, and owning one of these coins means holding a piece of the country's rich heritage. It's not just about the value in dollars. It's about owning a rare artifact from a time long past. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1986 1-cent coin in your collection or while metal detecting. How do you know if it's worth the big bucks? Here are a few tips on identifying the rare version of the 1986 1-cent coin. 1. Examine the details. Look closely at the protea flower design. Any misstrikes or errors in the design are key indicators. 2. Check the weight. The normal weight for a 1986 1-cent coin is around 1.8 grams. Any significant difference could be a sign of a rare error. 3. Look for the off-center strike. A die error can cause the coin to be misstruck, giving it a distorted design. 4. Condition is crucial. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition fetch a much higher value. If you have a coin with very little wear, you could be looking at a potential fortune. Make sure you keep your coins in good condition, preferably in a protective holder or capsule, to avoid any damage. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Let's say you have a rare 1986 1-cent coin, or you're looking to add one to your collection. How do you go about selling or buying one of these coins? First, I recommend getting your coin professionally graded. A company like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. Once graded, you can sell it through a reputable auction house, a rare coin dealer, or even through online platforms like eBay. But be aware of counterfeit coins, and always work with trusted sources to ensure you're getting the best deal. So, there you have it, the 1986 South African 1-cent coin. A rare and valuable piece of numismatic history, piece of currency. This coin, 1985 2-cent coin. And trust me, this coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a piece of history worth millions today. Yes, you heard that right, $3 million. But before we get into the insane value of this tiny copper coin, let's take a trip back in time to understand what makes this coin so special. South Africa, 1985, a time of political unrest, social change, and a country in the midst of a transformative period. It was also a time when coins were still predominantly used in everyday transactions, and the 2-cent coin was part of the circulation in South Africa. So, What makes the 1985 South African 2-cent coin worth millions? Well, it all begins with its rarity and unique history. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. As you can see, this coin is small, just 2.5 centimeters in diameter. On the obverse, we have the classic portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial official who founded Cape Town. On the reverse, we have a depiction of the protea flower, which is South Africa's national flower. Jan van Riebeeck, often considered one of the first major figures in South African colonial history, played a significant role in establishing the Dutch East India Company's base in Cape Town in 1652. His image has been featured on several South African coins. The protea, a symbol of resilience and beauty, represents the diverse natural heritage of South Africa, but the story of this coin is far more than just its design. In 1985, the South African Mint produced a limited number of these 2-cent coins, and here's where things get interesting. Despite its initial low face value, the rarity of the coin combined with its historical significance makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. The coin was only produced for circulation in 1985, and many of them were quickly melted down or lost. Now, not all 1985 2-cent coins are created equal. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. A typical circulated coin can be found for a few dollars, but an uncirculated coin, which hasn't been in circulation and still retains its original shine, can fetch up to $3 million. Yes, $3 million. That's because, in such good condition, the coin is almost like a time capsule preserved in its purest form. To truly understand the value of this coin, we need to talk about coin grading. Grading is the process of evaluating a coin's condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins are graded from poor to uncirculated. The 1985 2-cent coin that has a high grade, meaning it looks almost brand new, can command astronomical prices in auctions. At auctions, rare coins like the 1985 2-cent coin can sometimes break records. In recent years, we've seen rare South African coins selling for millions, and collectors from around the world are constantly on the lookout for these hidden treasures. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can I find one of these coins? Well, the chances of finding an uncirculated 1985 2-cent coin are slim to none. These coins are extremely rare, and they don't pop up in regular change. But there are a few ways you can start your search. First, you can scour online auctions and marketplaces. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or specialized coin shops sometimes list these rare finds. Second, visiting estate sales or coin shows could potentially uncover a hidden gem. But always make sure you're dealing with a reputable seller and have the coin authenticated before making any purchases. Authentication is key because there are many fakes out there. Some obvious signs of a counterfeit coin include irregular edges, off-center printing, and odd coloring. If you ever come across a rare coin, get it professionally authenticated before getting too excited. Since its release, the value of the 1985 2-cent coin has skyrocketed. In the late 1980s, the coin was worth just a few cents. But as time went on and fewer coins were available, the value grew exponentially. The turning point came in the early 2000s when an uncirculated 1985 2-cent coin sold for a jaw-dropping amount, nearly $3 million. This sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, and collectors began to hunt for them in earnest. Now, let's take some time to answer a few of your questions that you've left in the comments. John from Texas asks, what exactly makes the 1985 2-cent coin so valuable? Great question, John. The rarity, the low mintage, and the fact that it's still in such demand among collectors really push the price sky high. And while we're talking about high-value coins, let's take a quick look at some other coins that have become legends in the world of numismatics. From the 1933 Double Eagle to the rare 1913 Liberty Head nickel, coin collectors are constantly chasing the next big find. So, what do you think of this rare and valuable South African coin piece of currency? Thank you for watching today's video and interesting. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Worth old coin value.